About 14 months ago, Dr. Motsepe promised to make African football commercially competitive, and well, it's coming to life. And now for their remarks and to share with us their vision behind this groundbreaking initiative, please help me give a warm welcome to CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe and to FIFA President Mr. Gianni Infantino. Thank you so much. We can keep clapping for them, please, until they get on stage. This is indeed a groundbreaking initiative that will change the face of Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Excellent. At the awards, the CAF Awards, you really inspired and made the event very exciting, and we're very honored to have you. Gianni, good to see you again. We had the CAF Ordinary General Assembly a few hours ago, and everything went very well. But just a few statements on my side, and then Gianni will make a few remarks and we'll talk amongst ourselves. The African Super League is one of the most exciting developments in the history of African football. And the objectives in terms of what we are trying to achieve is very clear. Number one is to make sure that African football, and this is club football, is world-class, competes with the best in the world, and African clubs can compete because it is indeed about finance as well. It's about salaries. The family owns an African football club, and many of the top players recognize, and this is what we always emphasize, that football is a short career. And during that career, you really have to maximize in terms of the money that you make as a football player. And our advice to them is use that money to invest and to look after yourself and your families. But African clubs have never really had a very good foundation financially to be able to keep some of the best players in Africa, to stay in Africa from a salary, a wage, an income perspective, because they love the continent. They want to be in Africa. So the financial part of club football is a critical issue. And what we are hoping to do is through the African Super Club, improve the quality of football, because at the end of the day, you've got to get the football spectators excited. You've got to get them to want to watch local football, because it is as good as watching the best football in the world. So the financial aspects in relation to club football is key, but also from a CAF perspective, we recognize that we have to make sure that the competitions we have, the AFCON, the current Champions League, the Confederations Cup, they have to be globally competitive. That's why we've increased the prize money for each of them by huge percentages and huge amounts. And those numbers are the ones that will be contained in the documents that we'll be giving to the media. The other issue about the African Super League is we want to give every single member association, every single country in the 54 African countries that are part of CAF, give them a $1 million contribution every year to use to develop football amongst the youth, young boys, young girls. Use that money as well to make sure that we employ some of the best people in each country in Africa to be involved in running football, and also pay them competitive salaries. One of the biggest problems of the top African clubs participating in the current Champions League is they spend a lot of money on transport, and they spend a lot of money on accommodation, and when they win, the money they get does not justify or compensate for the huge expenses they've undertaken. So the first 24 clubs that we want to be part of the African Football League, we will give them a contribution every year of $2.5 million to use, and I know they'll use some of that money to buy and recruit some of the best players on the continent, but also to assist with their transport and with all of the other expenses. The two other issues before I ask Gianni to make his remarks is, our intention is to use $100 million, to make $100 million available as prize money every year in the African Super League. So the club that wins will get $11.5 million. Very, very important. We've invested money and we've started initiatives in relation to schools football, and I'm very proud that the Motsepe Foundation has donated $10 million for schools football on the African continent, because it's very key that in terms of our long-term plans to develop football in Africa and make it world-class, we've got to invest in our youth. And schools football is one of the most exciting areas to invest. Over time, those young boys and girls, and we want to get the teachers involved. We want to get training and coaching. The work that Arsene Wenger is doing, excellent work. Because at the end of the day, you've got to win on the field of play. And those 5 countries, Gianni, that are going to the World Cup, we were saying earlier, one of the reasons why I want him to come always to these African competitions is I want many, like in the AFCON in Cameroon and the Champions League, to get some of our African captains of our national teams get used to receiving a trophy from you, because it's a good place to start, because the next one we want is to have these captains from Africa receive the World Cup trophy from the president of FIFA. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll have this informal discussion. And I want to thank FIFA and thank you personally, because without your commitment and indeed sacrifice, as well as passion, a lot of the successes that we've done so far would not have been possible. Can we clap hands for Gianni Infantino and ask him to make a few remarks?
Thank you very much, Patrice. Can we clap hands for Patrice Motsepe?
Gianni, you must only clap hands for me when the deal is signed and we launch it and it's happening. It's like a football club that plays beautiful football but doesn't score goals. We want to score those goals. So we'll be excited when we launch it, have the first few games sometime next year, in August next year. But
yeah. Absolutely, and I will be very happy, of course, to attend the first game of this very exciting Africa Super League. And today is indeed a very special day when you launch a project like that, and I'm very proud as FIFA president to be here to offer, of course, the support and the help and the assistance of FIFA, and at the same time congratulate CAF and its leadership, president, the whole executive committee, all the associations, the clubs who have contributed to shape and develop this incredibly exciting, innovative project. It is a great project because, as it has been presented in this video, and was fortunate enough to assist at some of the meetings that you had in the executive committee, where more of the details were also presented. It is an innovative project, but it is a project which is also anchored very much on the values and the institutions of football. It is a project which is done within the CAF institution, within the FIFA institutions, within the football pyramid globally. We are, of course, helping, working together, because we felt and we feel that there is a need in Africa, there is a need also in many other parts of the world to bring club football as well at the next level. And to do that, it is important to be innovative, to have new ideas, to have new projects, to bring them to life as well. And this project is truly innovative. It is a project which will make African club football shine, not only in Africa. I was seeing in the video a 1 billion audience, but beyond Africa as well. Because these top clubs will participate in this league, which, as you once mentioned as well, has a promotion relegation element, so giving the opportunity to the whole of Africa to be able to dream to participate and to be able to do participate indeed in this competition. Well, the players playing this competition will shine not only in Africa but globally, and this is an important element. We have here many legends present from Africa, but also from South America, from Europe, in addition to the refereeing legend Pierluigi Collina as well. We have world champions. You will see them, and you saw them today. World champions, players who won the biggest leagues and the Champions League in Europe and other important competitions. And they all know that for a footballer and for a fan as well, because this competition goes to the footballers and goes to the fans, what is important is obviously to win, but it's even more important to give emotions. Now, when it comes to Africa, African footballers often play outside of Africa, and it's quite interesting. You mentioned Arsene Wenger and the study he made. One of the statistics that Arsene mentions all the time is the first transfer of an African player to mainly Europe or outside Africa is paid around $300,000 on average. The second transfer of the same player is $2.5 million. So this is all money which then does not go to Africa, does not go to development of African football. Why? Well, because these players have more opportunities to shine in competitions in other parts of the world, and we need to, of course, change that by improving competitions all over the world, and this Africa Super League is indeed a competition which goes exactly in that direction. We've seen 16 countries, or teams or clubs of 16 countries will participate. Well, this is much more, I understand well, than the current Champions League of CAF. In addition to this, there will be, of course, games, more matches, more games at the top level, which will be played. Now, we hear often when we speak about football, there is too much football which is played, right? And that's probably right in some parts of the world. In other parts of the world, there is not enough football which is played, or maybe not enough top football. And those legends who are here, the top players who are here, the world champions who are here, the league winners, Champions League winners who are here, they know it very well that you are getting better and better and better if you play more often against the best. And there is the World Cup to play at the global level, but not much else than that. And that's why it's important that at continental level as well, competitions can grow. And as FIFA president, I'm really happy to assist at this. You know, we often use the word historic, maybe out of context. In this particular case, this is definitely a historic moment because it is currently the most exciting football project globally in Africa to boost, to improve club football. Of course, there are always challenges, there are always question marks, there are always things which can improve. I've been involved in football since a few decades, and you know, every year we were discussing how we can improve competitions before and now in FIFA as well. Every year we can see that we can do the things we do in a better way, and for this, I think this unity and this collaboration is crucially unique. So if you put together the passion that this continent has for football, if you put together the talent that this continent has for football, and you increase the opportunities, not just to participate, as we said, in the World Cup, double the number of nations who can play the World Cup, but also the opportunities for the players to play competitions at the top level, then you solve and you sort out all the challenges and you go on. And I think you have now 1 year time to make this become a reality. We help, we will work together with you. From what I've seen around the world, and obviously, you know, the commercial part will be very important. There is a huge excitement, a huge will to invest in a project like this, which will give an incredible visibility and pride to Africa. So I'm very happy to be here.
Can we clap hands once more for Gianni? Thank you so much. Thank you. It's exciting. Today is about football. CAF is about football. And the focus in our discussions and in the Super League has to do with the development and growth of African football. And as we've always said, it starts with the development of football in every one of the 54 nations. And the Super League, African Super League, represents the very best on the continent. One of the exciting things is the private sector and the investors who've all shown a huge amount of interest and enthusiasm to be part of this project. And the other key component for us is we've always recognized the power of football to bring people together, to unite people from different backgrounds, people who speak different languages, people from different races, people from different ethnic backgrounds, people who belong to different religious organizations. The football brings us together, unites us in our common pursuit of success in football, but also in our common pursuit of making the African continent a continent where people's standards of living improve, where people get jobs, the economies are growing, upliftment in the lifestyles of our people. So over the next few months, we will be engaging because we've got some of the top chairmen and presidents of the top football clubs in Africa, and we are engaging with many of them and have engaged. We had a meeting in what the plans are and how they should become part of this exciting opportunity. But it's also important for us to hear their input, their guidance, their advice. We've spoken to the top football administrators and others will be engaging. We've circulated a document to all the member associations, and I think the media will get that document as well that will discuss many of the issues that we've raised. So the intention is in August of 2023, kickoff should commence, and over the next few weeks and over the next few months, there's this process of engagement, of consultation. And I think Gianni spoke about something very important. We have to also be able to explain to the football, professional soccer leagues in many of the countries how this will affect their program, their fixtures, and also what it means for their financial upkeep and growth and success. Because at the end of the day, the success of club football is based on commercial viability, is based on commercial competitiveness, and because football is a global sport, it's based on global competitiveness. So we'll just spend a few more minutes and make a few remarks, and the global media is here to ask us a few questions. But the final point I want to make before I hand over to Gianni as well is that the African Super League for us is the most important, the most effective, the most fundamental intervention, contributor to the significant upliftment and the significant improvement of the quality of football in Africa, and to make sure that African clubs, but also African national teams. And that's why, as I said, the 54 million we will give to the member associations every year and give each one of them $1 million to make sure that that money is being used to develop their national teams. And I was saying earlier that the CAF competitions, our objective and our commitment has always been that to ensure that every single CAF competition is run on a basis that is as good, as qualitative as the best confederation leagues in the world. We want European football to succeed and do well. We want CONMEBOL to succeed, continue succeeding and do well. The same for CONCACAF, the same for Asia, the same for the rest. Because part of our objective is we believe that the growth and success of African football is a huge contributor to the continued growth and success of global football. So the next, Gianni, the next press conference that we will have is when we will be announcing the formal one, the formal launch in a few months' time is when we will be coming back to you and giving you the final feedback in relation to the commencement and the implementation of the African Super League. Any additional remarks on your side, Gianni?
Well, maybe simply to say that you rightly said that, I mean, you must have, of course, the ambition to be the best in the world, and the growth of African football, clubs or national team football, contributes immensely to the growth of global football. And this is absolutely correct, and that's why we have to work in this direction. But in addition to that, the growth of Pan-African football will help each and every single country, not just with the solidarity investment, but simply also with the impact and the visibility of football, which will help each and every single country to develop new talent and to make the whole football movement in all of Africa grow immensely.
So you've just reminded us, so the quality of TV coverage of the matches that are part of the African Super League, the stadiums where the matches will be taking place, the infrastructure, the game will start on time, has to start on time. I saw my favorite referee there. They call him in Africa Mr. Eyes. He's got a lot of hair. And Gianni says he's got no hair. Colina, one of the best. And the partnership we have between CAF and FIFA is to produce Colinas and many more in the continent, because Africa has got world-class referees. And we want to make sure that the credibility and the integrity as well as the respect of our referees is world-class. And we will be using VAR at all of these games that we play. The bottom line is we are committed, because we do this in many other spheres where the companies that we operate and that we have established or where we are shareholders are world-class companies, and they compete against the best in the world, and we bring that same confidence and that same excitement about being amongst the best to football, the sport that we love immensely and the sport that we are most passionate about. I think this is just a preliminary statement that we are making. I want to thank all of our legends. Many of them gave us so much joy. We used to watch you play football and continue to watch you. Many of you still play in these legend games and give us a huge amount of excitement. We will continue in consultation with the players' football associations to get their input and get their guidance as well, and with all other stakeholders. Thank you so much to all of you, and I'm confident. And I see Ino and Romy and Veron from CAF, and a special thanks to my vice presidents of CAF, the CAF Exco. We are so grateful. The 54 member associations of Africa, and who are the backbone and the pride of football on the continent. Thank you so much to you. The face of African football will never be the same again. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The Africa Super League is kicking off next year in August. Thank you so much, Presidents, for enlightening us on this journey that we're about to embark on and that will change the face of African football. C'est un moment historique que nous vivons ce matin. As of today, like I said, African football will never be the same. Thank you so much for watching Africa. Asante sana. Merci beaucoup, mesdames et messieurs.
Sorry, I'm told that,
Alors-
merci beaucoup. I'm told that the legends and the EXCO members and the vice presidents, can you please, and the club owners, please come on stage because they'd like to take photos. This is the request of the media and your investors and your sponsors. Can the vice presidents and the EXCO members come on top with our legends and the club owners who are here?
Exactly. It's time for our family pictures, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd like to call the club presidents and the vice presidents of CAF and, of course, our football legends that are here in the house today.